Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we are going to be resetting for the month of March, which means that we're going to recap the month of February. We're going to talk about our family finances, how much money we brought in, how much money we spent, saved, invested, put towards debt. We're going to talk about family goals. We're going to talk about my personal goals, the goals that were set, met, unmet. We're going to talk a little bit about everything. And like I said, we're going to prep for the month ahead, which is the month of March. So if that is of interest to you, then please keep watching. Okay, so let's start with talking about the month of February and reflecting on the month of February. So I would say February was better than January, but I think that I can only truly say that because we did not have a car completely break down in February like we did in January. Other than that, I feel like February was pretty much the same as January as far as, you know, what all we did and how we spent our time and all of that. But again, it was slightly better because we did not have a huge car repair or a medical bill to come in. And February brought about spring weather here in Georgia, which is chef's kiss. I don't know how people don't live where the climate is optimal. I mean, I'm sure people like living, I'm from the north, so I'm sure people up there and other places are happy with snow and stuff like that, but I cannot deal. We don't do snow. We have beautiful weather most of the year, and this is just where I belong. I belong in the South. So anyway, let's talk about some high moments from the month of February. First things first, we attended this ratchet bingo thing. Essentially, we had two cards. One was an R&B card and one was a hip hop card. And whenever they played music, of course, we sang and danced and rapped. And whoever that artist was, if you had that artist on your card, then you could put a little token thing. But there were no rewards, or awards rather, involved. So it was just basically a fun time. We obviously had to pay for it. There was a cash bar. Food was included, chicken and waffles. I don't know, it was just super fun. So much so that I think we're going to attend another one in March. That's how fun it was. Also, I watched my cousins play basketball. I have a cousin who plays college basketball and we get family tickets. So we got 2 tickets and we also, well, we got 4 tickets because we invited 2 other people. And so we went and watched him play basketball. And then I have a little cousin who, he's like 9 or 8 and he plays for a little league. And so he actually is going to the playoffs. So I have watched him play basketball this month in February as well. So, you know, it's just been a month, another month of a lot of basketball. Another high moment was hanging with my bestie. I have a friend who lives in the Atlanta area. And so we actually invited he and his girlfriend to come with us to the game, which, like I said, we have 4 family tickets. And then we went to hookah after, and we just had a whole fun-filled 24 hours of a super fun day, and it was definitely a high moment. Another thing that I did is I took a personal day, which I kind of do literally every month. I know that solo dates are in now and people are coming to try to get comfortable with solo dating and just having time to themselves and taking themselves out. But I have long been doing this. I can't think of a time since I was a child where I did not do solo dates. Of course, I didn't call it solo dates then, but I just literally love so much taking personal days and it doesn't faze me. I know some people they try to get comfortable with it, or some people have an issue with it because they don't want to be comfortable with it, but it doesn't matter to me one way or another if I'm doing something with someone or not. Meaning, if there's something that I want to do, let's say there's a new restaurant that I want to try, and let's say my husband's at work or my friends are at work and I'm off of work or something because I work and I have a particular type of schedule, I wouldn't necessarily wait around for anyone to do that with me, to go try this new place with me. I would just go on my own. I mean, if it's convenient and if somebody really wants to go, I'm not going to go without them, but it wouldn't matter to me one way or another if somebody came or if somebody did not come. Kind of like how I go about life in general. It doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. If a person comes or doesn't, I'm not going to not do something. It's like working out. I work out, I go for walks. I love walks. My husband doesn't really care to go for walks. He'll work out if he feels like it, but he definitely doesn't care to go for a walk. But I love walks. So whether or not he goes or not, I'm gonna go on a walk, that kind of thing. I'm just going to do the things that feed my soul, whether or not anyone else is coming with me. Another thing that we did is a wine tasting. So I had gone to this wine tasting before, or this winery before, but I had to bring my husband because the wines they're very unique. We had an apple pie wine, and we had like a coffee wine and a chocolate wine and raspberry and this and that and the third. And so I knew that my husband needed to be there. So I took him last week and he had a blast. We both had a blast, but you know, he's getting into wines, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. He's more interested in trying them. So it's fun going to wine tastings and stuff with him now because he's into it. And then also season 2 of Bel-Air is here. Interestingly enough, I don't really watch any shows, but if I do, they're pretty much a remake. Right now, I'm into Bel-Air. I'm into the Charmed new reboot. I watched Wednesday. I watched some other thing. Velma. I watched that. For whatever reason, I'm into reboots. If no reboot, I'm not gonna watch TV. So those were my high moments from the month of February. Low moments, I lost my credit card during my chaotic week in Atlanta, which losing your credit card nowadays isn't so bad because you can lock your card from the comfort of your phone and you don't have to worry about theft and all of that. So it wasn't really that big of a deal, but it is kind of annoying because I had to get a new credit card number, and then go back to all of the accounts where money is being taken from my credit card and then update the credit card. You know, update my payment accounts for a bunch of different things, and it's annoying. Also, I sustained a back injury. This is the second injury of the same sort this year. I think I know what is causing it, so I'm not going to do that again. It's very much giving I'm no longer a spring chicken and I need to act like I'm 30 instead of 12. Favorite memories was the Atlanta trip. Hands down, so fun. That was with seeing my cousin play. And then also, I didn't mention this, my friend who lives in Atlanta, we cheered on our home team, which is the team that my cousin plays for. So it was just so fun. Then smoking hookah. Spring weather is here. Favorite moments, favorite times of my life. I love spring. It's my favorite. I also like fall, but I think I like spring more. And then I had my first ever bookstore trip as an adult. I am not a physical book reader. I loathe it. But I took my friend to brunch the other day and I gave her a Barnes & Noble gift card for her birthday, like as her gift, tangible gift, because that's what she's into. She's an avid reader. So I was like, before you go spend that gift card, can you let me know so I can go with you? I've longed to browse the bookstore. It just seems like such a peaceful event. And she was like, we can go right now. So we went. It was super fun, but I did learn that I'm not a physical book girly. I very much like digital books because after I read them, they're cheaper. And then after I read them, I don't have to figure out what I'm going to do with them. And I won't have like a hoard of books. Interestingly, she wants a hoard of books and she's filling up bookshelves all the while. But I'm like, yeah, no. We can read together, have little reading dates and such, but I'm going to be reading on my iPad or my phone. I'm probably not going to have a physical book. Speaking of books, this month in February, I read Becoming by Michelle Obama, 5 stars. And then I'm now starting The Light We Carry, both of which I have borrowed in their physical books, borrowed from my mother-in-law. So I think I may keep them if she doesn't ask for them back because they're very pretty and aesthetically pleasing and I can use them as decor. But yeah, I am borrowing those from my mother-in-law. This month I plan to read The Light We Carry. If I happen to finish it, which I could, I will go on to reading Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. That is going to be my next book after I read that, and it's on my Kindle. So now we're already literally 13 minutes in, but let's talk about some lessons learned. First of all, well, these don't have to be lessons. They're just things that I pondered, things about me that maybe I unpacked or that came up for me during the given month. I feel like a lot of things come up, but I just kind of write down the things that I feel like I want to be able to remember or look back on, considering this is like a journal to me. First thing, I do everything with passion. That came up for me, which I already know that, but I really do everything with passion. There's nothing that I do typically without passion. If I'm not going to do it with passion, I really don't care to do it. I'm a very passionate person, and so I do everything with passion. Also, I value autonomy. I know that a lot of people think that when you get married that you kind of give yourself over to your spouse, or if you have children, then you give yourself over to your children. And I'm sure that that is 100% the case for a lot of times, but whether that becomes my life or not, it's not been my life as a married person whatsoever. Maybe that will be a thing when I become a parent. But either way, at my core, I'm going to always value autonomy. I love it. Top tier. Next, I'm blessed. I feel like I don't have to elaborate on that. Another thing that came up is that I value presence. And this came up for me because I'm a very present person. I have the inability to multitask or to do like multiple things at one time, which is multitasking, because I have to be fully present in everything. Like, I couldn't be texting and doing a video. I can't be texting at lunch with a friend, or I can't be talking on the phone and driving necessarily. There are things that I can't do. Like, my friend wanted to chat with me the other day about something that I presumed was important, and I had to make sure that I finished doing whatever I was doing so that I could give her my undivided attention. So for my sake and for her sake, because I just wanted to be able, I don't know, I just have to be fully present in the moment. I cannot do multiple things at once because I value being present. Another thing is that I love and being loved. I don't know that I can consider myself a hopeless romantic because my first relationship has had a 10-year run, and in that first relationship, which led from a friendship to a relationship to a marriage that is going on 7 years, I don't know that I can consider myself to be a hopeless romantic. However, I really just love everything about being around people who love me, or knowing that people love me, and vice versa. I feel like that's what life is about. Being a human is connecting. That's what it means to be human. That's what the human experience is about. We need to connect and to attach. And so, I mean, basically, that's just it. I just love and being loved as a human. And then finally, I put on here that kindness and compassion are greater than judgment and ridicule. And the reason why that came up for me, I shared it in my Instagram stories, is because I really do want to be a very kind and compassionate and forgiving and loving person. And that's who I strive to be. I don't want to be judgmental. I don't want to ridicule. I don't want to condescend, put down. I don't want to do any of that. The person who I want to become, without sometimes my first thoughts being that of judgment, is a person who extends grace and mercy and shows compassion and kindness. Sometimes my first thoughts are like, oh my God, like, you did that? You did what? Rather than, if somebody's telling me a story and it's kind of chaotic and they're telling me the story for purposes so they can get to, whatever the point of it is. Sometimes I'm listening to the story and I'm like, Jesus. But I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person who just listens to understand and, that type of thing. So that's why I have that on here. Favorite items, my iPad. I feel like that's a no-brainer, but this iPad has been giving me life this month in February. My favorite beauty item, oh, that was my favorite tech item. My favorite beauty items are Gel X nails. I've recently gotten into Gel X nails. These are, you guys, so cheap, so easy. It's basically a permanent press-on, and you need these in your life. Watch some YouTube videos about Gel X. They've been around for years, but I'm just now learning about them, and I'm not going back. This is so easy. And I was demonstrating in my Instagram story. I'm like, I wouldn't dare do these with a regular press-on. I am mind blown by these nails. So you have to get into them. My favorite lifestyle thing has been warm weather, leisure, watching basketball, because I have watched a lot of basketball. Food is infused pineapples. I have a coworker who buys the Sam's pineapples by the boatload, and they come already infused in coconut water. And you can eat them like that, and it's really good. But apparently he likes to remove the coconut water or much of it and then put some type of alcoholic beverage in there. And the most recent jar he gave me was infused with moonshine. So apparently I just had my first ever moonshine. And then my favorite activity was smoking hookah. Hands down, I think we had mango mint, and I only do smoke hookah. I'm not into smoking anything, but I only smoke hookah probably every couple years, and it's not even really that big of a deal. It's just something to do. So I kind of forgot how much I enjoyed it, and so I was reminded of that in the month of February. Okay, so let's talk about this money situation for the month of February. First things first, we were supposed to pay our HOA fees, which I'm pleased to announce we have done that. It has been a headache trying to pay these HOA fees, and I'm not on Facebook. I don't have a Facebook. Well, I deactivated it like a year ago, but my husband will sometimes send me screenshots of what's happening in our community, and there are people on there complaining about why they are paying an HOA because it's essentially not active. People are painting their fences. People's yards are a hot mess. I was convinced that we didn't have an HOA anymore because they didn't send me correspondence and they closed my online account, but we have one. And I too am trying to figure out why I'm paying these people. Like, what are they doing with this money? But neither here nor there. Didn't get that figured out. Pay your HOA fees. I have learned, or I have known for years, that they can put a lien on your house if you don't pay your HOA fees. That would be a little dramatic. We only pay $200 a year, but that could be a thing depending on your situation. So always pay your HOA fees. Next up, we were to save $2,000 additionally. We did do that. We wanted to invest 15% of our paychecks, and we did do that. We wanted to pay our monthly credit card bill. We did do that. Add the truck to our auto insurance. You know we didn't do that. I did save $225 towards our sinking funds. Bought my friend Jasmine a gift. Bought my friend Tanya a gift. Bought my friend Alika a gift. And the last two actually live here, so I got to actually spend time with them on their birthday as well. There's a DOG walking by, and let's pray my DOG doesn't see that DOG because she's about to start tripping. Moving along. I did not buy the area rug. I think I want to do it in March. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I kind of keep thinking of other things I want to spend my money on. We did not necessarily prep taxes, nor did we file taxes, but I have reached out to our CPA as of today to schedule that. One thing that's weird for me is that all of these different brands and such that I work with, they don't all send 1099 forms or whatever form that they're supposed to send. They don't actually send it, which is so weird for me because I don't know, I just feel like they should send the forms, but they don't. But it's okay because I keep track of all of my income and expenses anyway, but that's just so weird. But let's talk about this money situation. So for income, we had 4 paydays, mileage from my job. My husband was a part of an Equifax settlement and the settlement was $12.27. I was a part of it too, but I got my check before his, so last month in January, and then my husband went to jury duty for 2 days. So in total, we brought in $5,099.10, but then we also paid ourselves a small salary from the business, and we just pay ourselves what we need, nothing more, nothing less. So let's talk about where our money went. Okay, so car payment came in at its typical amount, which is $314.34. We have 3 vehicles, 2 are paid off, 1 we have a loan on, which is this vehicle, and so it'll probably be paid off realistically probably in the next 2 years. We're not in any rush. We paid our phone bill, which was my husband's phone bill, for another 3 months. It came in at $130.85. We had budgeted $130.86, and we do have Mint Mobile. Our electricity bill came in at $179.27. I had budgeted $200. Cable through Sling TV is $40 even. Pest control is $46 even and was as budgeted. So was cable. Our mortgage was as budgeted at $1,520.99. Water/sewer came in under at $55.33. We had budgeted $65. Our internet came in over at $90.80, and we had budgeted $61.80. What has happened is we are no longer a part of a promo, and I called to complain about it, and our bill will be lowered moving forward, but it's not going to be as low as it once was. It's kind of cringy. I kind of think about canceling internet regularly because I just don't see why I would need to pay $90 for internet, but then well, there goes my YouTube career. So I just kind of stick around, but it's very annoying because internet just keeps going up. I hate it. Amazon Music was as budgeted at $15.99. If you're wondering what that is, well, we get unlimited music. Well, we get like billions of songs available to us, every song we've ever needed to be available to us through Amazon Music. And then we also have it's a family plan, and we also have the ability to play the music on all 4 of our ALEXASs around the house. And we somehow have 4 of them. I think one we got from my mother-in-law, and then maybe we bought the other 3. Yeah, but we somehow have 4 of them, but that's why we pay that much for the music. For retirement, we did not contribute anything additionally. Normally when we don't have a car, I don't think I told you guys how much the car repair was, but it was about $4,300. So we borrowed the money from ourselves, and we're paying ourselves back. So because of which, we are not doing any additional investing. We traditionally do an additional investing. Let me try this again. We invest $2,000 additionally each month, typically. However, we are not doing that this month, and we may not do it for the next few months either, because we have other expenses that we're saving up for that have to do with my husband going back to school. So we might not be increasing our investment portfolio by too much this year, although technically we will, because we invest through our jobs and we do a little bit of investing, and we maybe at the end of the year be able to pick back up with it. I'm not counting it as a total loss. We're only 2 months into the year, but it does seem like this year is going to be spendy, and we may not be able to invest as much. And we invest that way because we are looking to retire early if we can. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Next up, we did invest $80 through Stash, and that is a $20 automatic payment that comes out every week. We did save $225 towards our sinking funds, and we did that because we are saving up for various expenses like next year's HOA, the next termite control, our car insurance, because you didn't see car insurance listed, and we're saving up for a few other subscriptions and things that come out once or twice per year. So we just saved $225 towards those various accounts, and then those accounts will fund all the things that I just mentioned when the time comes. And then we did save more than $2,000. It's not reflected in our budget because, as you can see, we did not I did not show where we paid ourselves from the business. So I'm also not showing where there's no real reason why I did that. I always do it typically, but sometimes I just don't show it. But I didn't show that amount, and so therefore I didn't track that amount either in our expenses. Otherwise it would have been real crazy looking, because you have to count your income. If you're gonna count whatever type of income, you have to account for that expense as well, if you're doing an every dollar budget, of course. So I kind of skipped around. So I'm gonna go back up to security for our home. We budgeted $51.47. It came in at $52.14. Life insurance was as budgeted, which was $42.19. Pet insurance was as budgeted at $61.05. Netflix was as budgeted at $9.99. And then for shopping, we projected to spend $1,635.32. We were over budget by more than $1,100, and we spent $2,000 $759.69. I'm shook by that amount, but let me explain. First of all, when we went to do the hookah whole Atlanta extravaganza with our friends, we covered the cost of that. So that kind of, accounted for a large portion of that. Also, Lil Wayne announced a tour, and it wasn't in our original budget to cover the cost of this tour, but I bought tickets anyway, and I paid $350 for 2 floor tickets. And so that was something that we spent. Technically, if we go over budget, we have to pull money from savings or from our buffer. So I could have left that out of here, but I just wanted to share with you realistically where our money went. So we covered that cost by transferring over savings or dipping into our buffer, which is in our checking account. So that was $350 that we didn't necessarily have set. We didn't have that set aside, nor were we really expecting that to take place. But I will have you know, I've attended something like 15 Lil Wayne concerts since I have become an adult. I've not missed a tour, and I won't start today. So I did the thing, and I bought the Lil Wayne tickets. Another large expense was this new thing that we have started, and it costs like $200. Oh, I'm also going to a training, which is a decent amount of money. My district does not pay for trainings that I need for my CEUs. Don't get me started. So I paid for a training myself. Various other things that I did not really expect to spend. So had those things not come up, we would have been way closer to being on budget, very close to being on budget, which is typical. So each month we typically spend something like $1,750 or so to live and thrive, which sounds like a lot of money, but we probably spend $150, $300, $600 or so on groceries. We have date nights. We have to buy food for our pets and treats and all the things for her. We have to put gas in our cars. We like to pick up tabs for people, so donating and giving. We have our own personal spending, clothes, miscellaneous things, parking, tips, you name it. All of that typically comes from that budget, which back in the day, before inflation and COVID, I feel like we could get away with spending maybe like $1,250 or so, but now we are up to like $1,750, sometimes even more. But so that's kind of what that's about. But anyway, so if we go over budget, that means that we either pay ourselves more from the business, we pull money from our buffer, which is in our checking account, or we take money from our short-term savings account. So that's kind of how that works. That is why it looks as though we have spent way more than we have earned or been paid. But anyway, that's our February money story. I do have a March budget video already on my channel. It's a whole dedicated video. I like to do those every month to really get down to the nitty-gritty, because you see how long it took me to talk about a budget recap. You can only imagine how long it takes to talk about prepping for a new month and goal setting and all of that. So check out that if you're interested. I do have a dedicated plan with me video where I'm setting up my digital planner coming in the next video after this. But as of right now, let's go ahead and talk about my February goals. Okay, so as part of my quarterly or annual goals, I essentially just break down those goals each month. And so for February, I wanted to take one personal day, and I actually had that scheduled for February the 17th, which I did take, but I also took like a half day kind of situation on February the 3rd. But on February 17th, my husband was at work and I did not have to work that day. So that whole day I spent doing personal related things like extremely long shower, body care, going to Starbucks for my monthly coffee. Although I've had like 2 coffees this month, but I normally have 1 just because I don't drink coffee, but I like going to Starbucks to hang out for whatever reason. It's fun. And I normally take myself out to eat during these personal days. I literally do whatever I want to do. So I kind of had 1.5 in the month of February. For books, I wanted to read 1 book, and I did read that. For family, I wanted to complete home projects to include continuing decluttering the spare room, which we did do. I wanted to touch up the paint, which I did not do, and purchase an area rug, which I did not do. So as you can imagine, those will roll over to March. We wanted to save $2,000, did do that. Invest $80 via stash, did do that. And invest 15% of our paychecks, and we did do that. For relationships, I wanted to schedule a gathering. Now here's the thing. I actually wanted to celebrate both of my friends at the same time, since their birthdays, the 2 that live here, since their birthdays are not even a week apart, I don't think, or maybe a week apart. However, that didn't work out. So I split up the occasions and I went to hang with both of them. So that's kind of like a thing, but I consider my gathering that I schedule, so that was like something that was important, but I consider the gathering, since that didn't work out, to actually be the gathering with inviting our friends from Atlanta to come to watch the basketball game that my cousin played in, and then we all kind of hung out afterwards. So that was my idea of scheduling a gather or hosting them, and then of course paying for the hookah situation. That was my idea of doing that. For career, I didn't study for my exam. I didn't reschedule it. I didn't pass it. For business, I wanted to secure 1 sponsorship, which I have done. Why do I have NA on here? Let's just change it. And then I wanted to publish 8 YouTube videos, which I've done, and to publish 4 Instagram reels per month, which is 1 per week. And I've been doing amazing at that. So check. And then for health, I wanted to schedule my workout days weekly so that I could work out at least 30 minutes for 3 times a week. The thing is, I actually work out for like an hour each time I work out, sometimes more, but I only worked out literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in the month of February. And my last workout was on the 14th. So I haven't even worked out the last half because of my back injury. So there's that. Let's talk about March goals. So for March, I would like to take 1 personal day. I have tentatively scheduled it for March the 24th. I don't know why, but that's what I've done. I think I've done this because my husband has something to do after work, and maybe after I leave work early, I can kind of take the evening to carry out my personal day. I feel like that's why I did that. I want to read 1 book, which is The Light We Carry, and if I read that, then I'll move on to Things We Never Got Over. Is that what I said? For self-care, I want to schedule a hair appointment. I'm trying to figure out when I want this to happen because I want it to happen. I just don't really know when I want this to happen, but I need to schedule a hair appointment. I also need to, I already did it. Love that for me. I needed to schedule a laser hair appointment. I need to have a touch-up. I got laser hair removal. Like, I went through the process originally a couple years ago, but now basically I pay to get touch-ups, which is a common thing that you might have to do if you get laser hair removal. You might have to get touch-ups. So that's kind of where I am right now in time and space, is scheduling those checkups. Next up, I want to commit to doing my nails myself for the month of February, continuing to do that as I've been doing all year. And I may schedule an OBGYN appointment. Long story short, for years I would go to my annual appointment, but then this new job that I have doesn't cover it, which is the weirdest thing for me. And it's like $200-300. So I essentially skipped a year, because if you're normal, I'm told that you can go like every 2 years. So I was like, all right, well, considering I've never had an issue, I'll just skip a year. And so now it's time to schedule that. But I kind of don't want to pay for it, but you know, I need to go to this appointment. So I think I may schedule it for March. If not, maybe I'll do the summer when I'm off work. I mean, I don't know. I think I'll schedule it for the month of March. For family, I want to complete more home projects. I think this will be on my list of things to do literally every single month. I want to purchase this waffle comforter throw thing. I want to touch up the paint. I want to purchase an area rug, and I want to decorate for spring. That's what I want to do in the month of March. I want to save $2,000, invest $100 via stash, and then invest 15% of our paychecks. And then for relationships, I want to host a gathering. I was thinking about doing some kind of St. Patrick's Day situation. That could be a thing. It could not be a thing. But I do want to like host, which is kind of easy to do, to just host small groups. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, hosting can be just with one other person, but I can easily like get my girlfriends together, or, you know, like a few people here or there together. So I want to do that in March. For career, study for my exam. I have passed my exam, but I think I need to remove it and just listen though. I can easily go in there and take my exam in March, but I think I may do it spring break in April. But I could easily just schedule it for March and go take it because I'm chaotic like that. For business, I want to secure 1 sponsorship. I want to publish 8 YouTube videos. I want to publish 4 Instagram reels. And for health, I want to work out at least 1 hour 4 times weekly. And I actually want to get a gym membership because we've done a lot of research for gyms, and there's one that offers classes. And these classes, I've actually taken them before because I used to have a gym membership to the same, not the same gym, but the same chain whenever I lived back at home. And there were these classes I took and loved. So most of these classes are an hour and they happen daily, a lot of them. So we kind of want to commit to 1 hour 4 times per week working out as a family. Maybe more, but definitely 4 times per week. So those are my March goals. Okay, you guys, so that is going to be the end of this video. That's it for me. That's pretty much everything that took place in February and everything that we are hoping to do in the month of March. Like I mentioned, I do have a dedicated Plan With Me video coming up, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a wild one because March is already pretty chaotic looking, much like every other month. I don't know what's happening with my life, but I'm not mad at it. April looks chaotic, May looks chaotic, June looks chaotic, July, August, literally every month. I know September is going to be chaotic because that's our birth months. That's both of our birth month. And then Q4 is already always just automatically chaotic. So I guess that's just the life that I'm going to be living for this year. And I'm not too mad at it. It's a little bit spendy. I keep mentioning it's becoming a little spendy, but I have no regrets. So it just kind of is what it is. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.